Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the RevEx Social Distancing Small Table Show, episode 32, Graduation Day. All right, coming to you live from Coruscant. I'm your host, Professor Rex. My t-shirt is the new Disney place down there. In-laws got this for me. I haven't actually been yet. And then my button, it says, it's a little water-stained and it's old as hell, so if you can't quite read it, it says, red and white is dynamite, and that's related to my high school. We'll come back to that in a little bit later. All right, this is our small table show, which is recorded live. One take, no edits, no pants, many errors. All right, join us. You can, if you would like to. You can do music, comedy, spoken word, monologue, commentary, Jedi, battle raps, whatever. And one of the people that's done this other than me so far, Jillian Cardillo, has now launched her own 30-day challenge on her YouTube channel, doing different characters each day. So that's going to be great. The first one just came out today. We'll share it on our Facebook page. All right. Or if you already know Jillian, just you know how to find her. Check us out, RevExProductions.org, or you can find us on Facebook at Revolutionary Exchange Productions. Contact me directly or by Gmail if you know me. Today's show is brought to you by Callum's Spaceport Cantina. And my drink tonight is a blue milk, which is, well, blue milk and unleaded. All right, nerds, I can hear you. If you're drinking a blue milk, why is it red? So aren't you the ones who are celebrating the day as like a holiday that's based on a pun? Not the thing, but a pun about the thing. So may the 4th be with you. So don't complain about my drink being the wrong color. Just, if it really bothers you that much, take it into post and like erase it out and make it blue. All right. Today's show, like I said, is Graduation Day. And so this was inspired by two things. One was, if you haven't been watching it, John Krasinski of The Office and John Ryan and A Quiet Place and many other things fame has been doing a show. It's a weekly, 6 weeks in now. He's got 6 episodes called Some Good News, SGN. And on it, he just presents things that are some good news. And he does this amazing thing where he connects like young people or people who are doing really hard work or sacrificing during this, big crisis and connects them with famous celebrities. So like they did an actual graduation ceremony because it's getting upon that time and there should be a bunch of graduation ceremonies right now. And a lot of them are canceled because of, social distancing. And so he did a show that brought together people for that purpose. And it was really great. And every episode of the show makes me cry. And so that was one part of it. And then the second part was that my oldest son, who goes to, like I said, Leon High School, also where my mom went. And like I said, red and white is dynamite. And this is actually from my mom's era. That's why it's so old and water stained and everything. And the font, it doesn't exist anymore. It's like almost a Flintstone-y font. But my son is graduating from that same high school this month. He's at least third generation. And it's one of the oldest. I think it's literally the oldest actively continuous active high school in America, Leon High School in Tallahassee, Florida, meaning that it's never closed, even though it has moved from another venue, I think, in the early days. So my son's graduating from there this week. And so if I'm going to do a song about graduation, oddly enough, I've written a song about graduation this year. I released a kind of comedic, it's sort of a sequel to a series of songs. The first one was, so it's like inspired somewhat partially by the Vitamin D Graduation Day song, and is partially related to, it's more directly inspired by Baz Luhrmann's Everybody's Free to Wear Sunscreen, which is basically a graduation speech set to beat. And then it was parodied by Chris Rock on No Sex in the Champagne Room. And so this is sort of me like stealing it back from No Sex in the Champagne Room and taking it back more into a more literal and artistic direction. But this one is specifically art school, so it's both meant literally and ironically, and you can tell that even more on the released version. You can find it currently on SoundCloud and Bandcamp, and it'll be released more widely very soon. But right now, on that version, my voice is amplified to sound more or deeper or whatever. So it's like it's a little more comedic there than I'm going to be able to deliver it today. It's going to sound a little more literal today because, well, that's what has to happen. So, all right, so. Before we get into it, since we're speaking of graduation, I wanted to show you a few things. All right, so the first picture is a picture of me during my own graduation from Leon High School, or a few pictures from that. I've graduated 4 times in my life. They didn't have it for the lower grades back in my day, only high school and higher got graduation. So I got a high school graduation, and then I graduated from community college. And those are the only 2 ceremonies I attended. After that, I decided it was not worth my time, or I was bored or whatever. But then I also got a bachelor's and then a master's at Florida State after that. So here are some pics and related to my graduation ceremony, Leon High School. This one was taken in Leon Civic Center, where my son Carlin's graduation would have been. But they're actually instead, and this is the second part of the inspiration for this, is my son's graduating from this month, and they're doing a drive-through thing where people are supposed to dress up their cars or whatever and drive through, and they're going to get their diplomas that way, and it's going to be live streamed and everything like that, which is actually really quite cool. So the next series of pictures you're going to see here are 3 pictures of me being me in 1990. Okay, so the first picture I literally told my dad is, hold on, take a picture. I've got to do one in a b-boy stance. And then the second picture is me showing you that I was also metal. And then the third picture is actually me with the principal at the actual graduation. And instead of shaking his hand, I'm trying to do some kind of weird, like, I'm down handshake thing. So these are the 3 pictures you're about to see. All right. So B-boy stance. That's in a trailer, by the way. It's a trailer. It's a house trailer. Right. And then we've got metal. And then here, covering it up. Here is me and the principal, Marvin Henderson, Marv, and I'm trying to give him some kind of cool handshake. So fast forward a few years, and you'll see that it doesn't look that different when I'm graduating from community college, the last ceremony that I went to. My hand, I'm not shaking his hand normally. I'm doing like a shout out to myself from 6 years ago, where I'm the only one that knows what I'm doing there. That's TK Weatherall, president of TCC, then he went on to be president of FSU. Here's outside that ceremony, if you wanted some even more interesting looks. So the first one is, well, they're both of me being, me. But here's one with the now ex-wife, me being very smarmy and kind of whatever. My kids have this look, especially Jack and Miles have that look on their face. And then here's one with my dad. And this is pretty much what my dad, I always hated having my picture taken, but this is me alluding to Friends, where Chandler couldn't he couldn't smile properly. This is me doing a joke on that. And that's my dad holding copies of all the newspaper issues that I printed while I was a newspaper editor there. And my dad pretty much looked like this up until he died, even though this was him in 1996. He effectively looked just like this in 2010 when he passed. And I know you can't see it, but that button on the top of his hat there says "Never Too Old to Rock and Roll." And yes, he was known widely as the ZZ Topper. So that being said, that's all the graduation stuff out of the way. Now let's do a song. And this song is that pseudo-serious, pseudo-comedic Art School Graduation Manifesto, Volume 1. Happy graduation. To the graduating class of yada, yada, yada. This is Art School Graduation Manifesto, Volume 1. Recontextualize everything. Yes, everything. Tell the truth. Only punch up, never punch down or sideways. Share the burdens of creation, distribution, and consumption. Tear down idols, false or otherwise. End idolization of the individual. Change. Be changed. Cause change. Be aware of how you affect others, whether you mean it or not. Lighten up as much as you can, then fight. Destroy your delusions. Share. Never stop growing. Never stop learning. Make old art better. The only justice is justice for all. Be intentional. Anything and everything can be art and an art. All art is political. Everything is political. Tradition equals stagnation. The old rules no longer apply. Remix everything. Broaden your influences. Stop hating art that sucks. Learn from it instead. Define yourself by who you are and what you are for, and not what you are against. Or what you are not. Be better. Don't expect it, suggest it. Learn whatever knowledge is to be learned. Listen. Big is beautiful, but not exclusively so. Fuck hypotheticals. Celebrate power, happiness, love, friendship, family, and other such things only inasmuch as they improve lives. Do what you are told you can't do, unless that involves harming one undeserving of said harm. You are wrong. Become unwrong. Create the things you want to see exist in the world. Everything is political. Think again. Think again. Think again. Leave art better than it was before you. Leave the world better than it was before you. Think again. Think again. Think again. Be safe.